Too little short for a stormtrooper.
What's up, nerds? Welcome to another episode of the Multiverse Report. We are recapping the week's nerdy news from Wayne Manor to the Speed Force and everywhere in between. Just realize that those two locations are from the same universe, but that's okay. My name is Mike Gibson. With me, as always, is Steve Haller. What's up, Steve?
Well, there's universes within universes. I'm sure you can figure that one out.
That's true, especially in the Speed Force.
Yeah.
The gateway to multiple universes, as we will probably see this summer when The Flash comes out.
I mean, unless they magically, unless they're in like they travel to the wizarding world or something, I think that's about how we're going to get there.
Yeah,
There's
probably.
only so many options in the DC universe.
You say only so many, but only so many is quite a few.
Yeah,
I was gonna say.
same thing with Marvel, but
Yeah.
I'll give it to you. Okay, there's only so many ways that it's going to happen in a movie titled The Flash.
Yeah, true. Yep. Imagine if they did the whole thing of having the Flash like run through the Speed Force, but he just doesn't go into a different universe. They're just like, no, it's just what he does. It's like that. That would be like the way they'd make a Flash movie in the '90s. Like he goes in the Speed Force, but comes out the same spot. Like it's
Right.
not as interesting. You know what I mean?
He
They'd
just
be like,
goes
no,
through
we
it.
did the Speed Force, but it's not like accurate.
Yeah.
The '90s, the beginning of superhero films, when they didn't care about the source material
Right.
at all. More on the Flash momentarily. First, most importantly, we have to issue a retraction from something that we talked about last week. A retraction, a correction, and an apology all at once. And this was one of our avid listeners brought this to our attention.
hmm
That while discussing the new teaser for Godzilla Kong last week, I flippantly and irresponsibly referred to both King Kong and the villain, seemingly the villain of this new movie, as monkeys. And dear listeners, dear viewers, we were called out.
We were.
They're not monkeys. They're apes.
They are.
They're apes. So I would like to apologize to Kate Sonheimer
Yes.
for telling us that for yelling at us via
And-
text message.
And as the resident biologist on the podcast, I will put on my badge of shame for not real-time correcting.
Yes. We want to apologize to King Kong and his family
Yes.
and any other
And the arbitrary
Sim-
chimpanzee that is or orangutan who is his enemy.
orangutan. Yep.
Yeah.
And any other simians that may have been listening. Is that an okay term to use?
I think so.
I think so. Let us know, Kate. Let us know. Anyway, we're very sorry. Sorry if we offended any other animal lovers out there. Moving on into Flash Watch, a recurring segment that started when the Flash was going through turmoil after turmoil after turmoil. Now, seemingly, knock on wood, seems smooth sailing into June. This movie's still coming out. Not a peep from Ezra Miller at all. I gotta
Weird.
wonder, are we going to see Ezra Miller on a press tour for this movie, do you think, at all?
Maybe like the week before, but not.
I think-
definitely not on an extended one.
I think it'll be like, if we see them out anywhere at all, it'll be like one big one. Like they'll do
Right.
the Tonight Show or something.
Do one
And
and then like the red
that'll be
carpet, and that's it.
Yes. Yeah. They'll definitely be at the premiere,
Yep.
clearly. But how many reporters are they going to talk to at the premiere? I don't know.
Mhm.
Because it's also like you have enough other people in this movie. Like you have Michael Keaton, you have Sasha Calais, you have Michael Shannon coming back as General Zod. Like you have all these other people that can promote your movie. Like everyone loves Michael Keaton, so it'll work. And it's The Flash. It's a big budget superhero movie that
Right.
people care about. So doing press for itself. So
Oh,
Anyway, we'll be
and
interested
aside for the like 5 people that I know listen that are also soccer fans, if you have not heard Michael Shannon talk up his hype video for the Welsh national team, like the Welsh national soccer team that he did going into the World Cup, it is one of the most amazing pieces of hype
Really?
video you've ever seen.
Oh wow.
It's
Need some
impressive.
inspiration.
Yeah.
throw that on.
If you need to be inspired about something.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, so we got a couple pieces of Flash news. We got trailer number 2 this past week. I loved it. Steve was meh about it. More on that in a second. And also, CinemaCon was this past weekend. That is like a yearly festival for mostly journalists and industry people, but I think maybe some. I don't know if it's for public. Normals get to go to it. I'm not sure.
Those normies.
But yeah, all like the big studios put on a big presentation and they show trailers and clips and they bring out celebrities to say like, this is all the stuff we're going to do in the next year and you should, be excited and give us all your money because of it. So not that they didn't just show the trailer for The Flash. They didn't just talk about it. They showed the entire movie. They showed journalists the entire film, and they weren't allowed to spoil anything, but they were not, we're still over a month away from this movie, and there was no restrictions on posting their first reactions. Like Warner Brothers was like, nope, you can post your reaction, just don't spoil anything, which I feel like is a confident move for a notably formally reactionary and terrified studio like Warner Brothers, especially when it comes to their DC stuff. And it seemed to work for them because all but one of the reactions that I saw on Twitter or other things were overwhelmingly positive. And the one reaction that was pretty negative was the most negative thing that I saw was from our favorite journalist of recent, Jeff Snyder, who said the first half was great and the second half was a mess. But I'm taking into account the fact that this guy, as I said previously, does not like superhero movies at all. Not a fan of things like Infinity War and Endgame. He's not the audience for this film. So the people that I read that usually seem to love it. There are a lot of believe the hype. It's great. Make sure to go see it kind of stuff. So, but headed back to that trailer, Steve, explain to the people why you were feeling a little mixed on this trailer.
I don't even know what to put my finger on. It was like there were parts of it that seemed very exciting. There were I think a lot of it was, and sorry, I'm trying to formulate on the fly. I think lot of it was that I kept seeing shots that I was like, I saw this in Batman versus Superman, or I saw this in blah 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 versus blah blah blah, and or whatever movie, and it just wasn't working. Like the shot with the two berries and a Supergirl, like that when they're standing there, I'm just like, oh god, it's just another bad imitation of the Justice League shot that also worked horribly, and there was just this weird visceral reaction to the way certain things were filmed or shot or how I was reacting to it that was like, I can see there might be something here. Like the Keaton stuff. Somehow my brain read it more as camp than as like being excited that Keaton was back as Batman. And I don't know if it's because we've talked about it so much, but I saw it and I was like, it's trying too hard.
Do you think that it has anything to do with you not necessarily having like an inherent excitement about a character like the Flash or a character like Supergirl, where it's like
after starting to read this, I've got a lot of excitement about Supergirl.
Woman of Tomorrow.
But
okay,
but no, I mean it may be part of that, but also like, I guess if you took that same trailer and slapped Quicksilver and a couple other X-Men characters on it, I would still probably be like,
Well, I mean, you're not wrong to have your guard up for sure. We've been burned by hype for movies before,
right?
We all have. So I think that when you told me you thought it was meh, I was like, oh, why would he think that? And I kind of watched it again, kind of like through that next time I watched it, and I thought about how I think it looks great. I think the effects look really well done. Like
visually, it does. It looks stunning.
it kind of looks a little different from other like superhero movies. I don't know, it looks like bright in a way that looks like kind of different. I can't really describe it, but maybe it's just I'm thinking of the last time I saw Ezra Miller as the Flash was in Zack Snyder's Justice League, which is like super dark and
take everything and sepia it.
Yeah.
But no, they definitely used. There was a lot of like color transition, and like you could tell they shot different scenes in different feels, which may be a multiversal thing, or it may be just a emotional feel thing. But they definitely tried to utilize that.
I also want to know. This is a little sidebar. I'd love to see it behind. I'm sure it's all just like CGI visual effects, but the scenes in these there's one scene where Barry Allen is meeting other Barry Allen, and they're on the side of a house, and the one's going, "That's
So
my face."
You stole my face or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, like they look 100% like they are in the same frame together, both of them. It's like the best use of that. Like I'm meeting myself. We've seen that a million times. Sometimes it's like a split screen or whatever, or it's blatantly green screen. But this just looks so good. Like it looks like they're really touching each other. Like I would love to see some behind the scenes on that. Anyway, I think because it looks great. There's cool action. The characters look cool. I think possibly for you, and for me, and for everybody, really, it's going to come down to what I'm trying to say. Oh, like I guess in both these trailers we've had, they've looked good, and we get a bird's eye view of like the story and the plot. He goes back in time. He's stuck in a different universe, or he screws something up. But there's got to be more than that. There's got to be an actual story, and there's got to be character arcs. There has to be characterizations, wants, needs, desires for our characters. And I think that's going to be really the make or break, especially for somebody like you who's already like, meh, I don't know.
Well, I actually started worrying about myself because literally everyone else I saw was like, "Oh, that looks great." I'm like, I don't know why. Like, I honestly don't know why I had that reaction.
Well, you're very entitled to it.
It might just be we've talked about previously that I'm just like, maybe I'm just trying to keep my expectations down for all these movies, and I'm just like, okay, great, another trailer.
Yeah, could be.
It worked for Quantumania. I thought it was fun.
Yeah.
My expectations were on the floor, and I thought it was fine.
That's coming to Disney Plus, I think, in a couple weeks, mid-May, I think. Yeah. We'll finally get to see it. Yeah. Cool. So, yeah, if you haven't seen the Flash trailer, check it out. And, who knows how many other episodes of Flash Watch we're going to get.
Yeah.
What do you think the odds are that some other random act of God thing happens to further derail this movie when it's so close to coming out? How possible do you think that is?
Have the wheels completely come off? I don't know.
I don't know.
That'll be. I wouldn't not hold my breath.
That if Ezra Miller does get like a Tonight Show or any kind of talk show thing, David Zaslav is going to be holding his breath the entire time. That interview,
Yes.
Like every executive has anything to do with that movie, James Gunn even too will just be like, please don't blow it, please keep it together. But I'm sure they will not. They won't send Ezra out without. No, he's undergoing mental health treatment and all that. They're not going to send him if he's not able to.
Yeah.
Continuing on with another cool DC story. We reported a while ago that Amazon had picked up what's called Batman the Caped Crusader. That's what it's called, right? The new animated series, 2 seasons of an animated series, the spiritual successor to Batman the Animated Series, geared towards adult audiences, dropped by HBO Max, coming to Amazon. Amazon has now picked up some more dropped Bat content, dropped from HBO Max. I think we talked about this when HBO Max started purging all of their stuff, but there was a Christmas special called Merry Little Batman.
What?
That, was dropped at HBO Max. I remembered it vaguely when I read this article. And now it's coming out at Amazon Prime. Merry Little Batman and a spin-off series called Bat Family will be airing on Amazon Prime now that they're not going to be on HBO Max anymore. Sorry,
Hmm.
not going to be on Max anymore.
No, we still got another
Merry
like 3 weeks until it's Max. We're
Yeah,
still
okay.
technically HBO Max right now.
Okay. Merry Little Batman is a Christmas special that apparently features Robin, Home Alone, and literally, like kind of like the movie Home Alone, defending Wayne Manor on Christmas Eve from criminals, invaders. I can only assume it's Bat family villains. And then Bat Family, the series, will be a spin-off of that, like an animation in the same style. And it's going to kind of explore the family dynamic between Batman, Robin, and Alfred. Both of these are geared towards younger viewers. So Amazon's going to have plenty of Bat content for people of all ages. So
Amazon's been listening to us about the younger content?
Yeah, or whoever, I guess originally HBO Max was listening to us, and then someone took over that company and decided to not listen to us. Maybe because we made fun of them too much on the podcast. That's probably why. But yeah, now Amazon's got some Batman content. And again, I think it's, we talked about it, how at first we didn't really get why they would let a Batman show go, because it's going to make them money. But you're spreading out your IP, you're spreading out your content. People that don't have HBO Max can still watch a Batman thing, and maybe it gets them to want more Batman stuff, so they do subscribe to HBO Max. Like, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
Any thoughts on animated Merry Little Batman Christmas special, Steve?
I'm good with it, especially if it's catered towards the younger audiences. It's filling a niche, which is funny because DC, for all we've said, DC is definitely way more in that space than Marvel is.
Yeah, I know.
Like there's Spidey and his Amazing Friends, and that's about it.
Pretty much it.
Whereas Teen Titans Go is still relevant, and all this new stuff coming out.
I got that Batwheels show.
Batwheels was great.
They do
which I guess there's a
Superhero
new season
Girls.
of that out. So
yeah, there's new episodes of Batwheels. Yeah, but yeah, Superhero Girls. This was years ago, but they had a show called Justice League Action, which was a Justice League show, but it was a little for slightly younger kids. It's great. I don't know why it's not on HBO Max or anywhere. It's really good. It used to be on Hulu, but I don't know. Check it out if you find it, people. Justice League Action. Yeah, sorry. I guess I thought I had something else to say about that. I don't.
Well, you know what? Let's if we're talking about kids shows, let's transition that into just a reminder. Since May the 4th is upcoming this week, we will be doing a standalone episode for that.
That's right. Should have said this at the top.
We should have
started the episode with this.
So in the notes, the show notes, there will be a link to a Google Forms if you listen to this between now and Wednesday, the 3rd, for ranking your Star Wars films, all 11 live action Star Wars movies, top to bottom. Give us your rankings. We want to overanalyze them and talk about it. And if you want more of us talking Star Wars, because, well, that's a thing. You'll be getting it this week.
That's right.
So
it's going to be me and Steve and friend of the pod, Matt Beseda, will be joining us. And the three of us will be sharing our individual lists, comparing them. But we also want to be able to source this data from our listeners. So,
right. Which initial waves of what we've gotten back are very interesting.
Very interesting.
Not in a good or bad way. It's just like,
yeah.
At this point, there are at least six different #1 films.
Yeah. 6 different Star Wars movies that people have voted as, which is a lot more than I thought. I thought there'd be like maybe 3.
Yeah, I was thinking like 3, maybe 4.
#1. So, yeah, maybe 4.
But
now it's 6.
I did mention that in the vein of young kids shows, I did want to mention, since it probably won't come up, some of the things and promos that are being done for May the 4th. I feel like we're probably going to be full up on the other episode. But I do know Young Jedi Adventures will be dropping on Disney Plus for anyone who has kids. I believe like probably in that kindergartenish, maybe preschoolish age. But that will be a new series set in the High Republic featuring Yoda and a bunch of younglings. So
Yeah, it looks good.
yeah, it'll be interesting to watch. So
Agreed. Thank you for bringing it back to the kid show thing, because I could not remember
how we got there.
why you started talking about it, and two, how it related to anything.
That sounds like my brain most of the time. How did I get there? I don't know.
How did I just start talking about Star Wars for no reason? Yep.
Yes, I did.
Last little bit of DC news. This is any other time something like this would be probably like a one shot, I guess, or something similar to this, but figured we'd give a shout out to Grant Gustin, who has played the Flash on the CW series for 9 seasons, officially wrapped his time as the Flash this past week. And that's a big deal. 9 seasons of a show to play a lead, an A-list DC superhero for 9 seasons of a show on any network, CW or whatever, doesn't matter. That's a lot.
It's
a
almost,
lot of time.
It's almost worse on the CW because you're in that many more episodes.
Because you're doing 22 episodes. I know the
Right.
9th season is like shorter. It's like a 10, 13 episode or something like that. But yeah, you're right. 22. Yeah. How much? Someone do the math. What does that equate to? Like double the seasons if it was on Netflix or something like that. There'd only be like 10 or whatever, 12 episodes a season. Jeez. So equivalent of like 17 or 18 seasons, I guess, of The Flash. And in a time when DC was struggling to produce films at all, let alone good ones, 9 years ago, 10 years ago, because Arrow started first and then this took off and kind of then eclipsed Arrow as far as the show that was on. CW was keeping these characters alive, keeping these characters in people's heads, in people's homes, non-comic book readers anyway, for a super long time. And, Superman and Lois is still on. And from what James Gunn has said, that they're going to let Superman and Lois go for a few more seasons. And that, initially was a CW show. I think it's probably just going to end up being an HBO Max original.
Yeah.
But,
no,
no one's gotten 9 seasons yet. The Flash is the longest one, and Grant Gustin is done. So I figured it was worth a shout out.
Oh yeah. And on that note, also, apparently either is it this week or next week, whenever the next episode of The Flash drops, Stephen Amell, noted Syracuse fan Stephen Amell is back as Green Arrow as well.
Yes. Well, I think he's back as the Spectre, because spoilers for other episodes of the CW show, he died. So I don't think he's back as Green Arrow, but I think he's back as the Spectre.
I don't know. Superhero hype saying he's back as Green Arrow. So
okay, maybe I'm wrong.
Although I've watched like three seasons of The Flash, so I have no idea.
I just saw a clip. I saw a clip of Stephen Amell on Returning to the Flash, and his eyes glowed green as if he was some kind of mythic, otherworldly presence. And I was like, oh, the Spectre. But,
That'll do it.
That's hearsay from the mouth of Mike Gibson. Who knows? Who knows? Who's right? All right, moving from DC into some Marvel. And then this is the end before comics, really. This is a pretty light week. Pretty light week for news. Yeah.
Well, you'll get offset with the light week by a whole nother episode on Star Wars.
Yeah, exactly. And there's no Star Wars news in this episode, so saving it all for May the 4th. Also, Star Wars Vision Season 2 comes.
Oh, does it?
So
nice.
There you go. I watched another episode of Season 1 last night, and I thought it was fine. So, no, we'll see. Season 2 looks really good, so I'm still excited about Season 2.
Nice.
Anyway, some more information from CinemaCon. As previously mentioned, CinemaCon was last weekend. Sony, there's a big Sony presentation, and they showed off, I guess they showed a few minutes of Across the Spider-Verse. No more like new news about that movie or anything like that, except they showed a few minutes to, journalists or whatever. They also showed a trailer for Kraven the Hunter, a movie that I keep forgetting is being made because I'm not really excited about it at all. Sorry. For those of you who forgot, don't know, whatever, Kraven the Hunter is a villain from the Spider-Man world.
Right. Villain, not an anti-hero, a villain.
But we all know that Sony likes to treat all their villains as anti-heroes so they can make movies about them being heroes in some way. That's how we got Venom and Venom 2. It's how we got Morbius. And it's how we're getting this movie. Did I miss one?
Hopefully not.
I don't think I did. I think there's just the two Venom movies, right? And Morbius.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's all that's been actually made, to my
Yeah.
knowledge.
Yes, there's a lot that has been announced and not made, but so this trailer, I guess, made it seem like a pretty action-heavy movie. Kraven was violently attacking some like big game poachers, bit one of their noses off or whatever, just like really pretty violent. But also that it had, you know, seemingly setting him up to be an anti-hero so that he can be the main character and not, you know, a quote-unquote bad guy. But the biggest piece of nerdy news that came out of this trailer is that the villain is going to be the Rhino. However, from what I've heard, it doesn't seem like he's going to be a guy who's stuck in a giant, you know, momentum-fueled suit, indestructible suit,
Right.
that looks like a rhinoceros. I think he's probably just going to be another hunter or something that.
I thought it was just going to be an actual rhino.
Yeah. Now that I would watch.
It's Kraven versus a physical white rhino.
But a sentient talking one.
Right.
Like it's a Disney movie. Yeah.
And also CGI'd because they're endangered and we don't want to mess with that.
Of course. Of course. I guess star Aaron Taylor Johnson showed up via video, sent like a pre-recorded thing in, and amongst whatever he said about the movie, he said, "Will it be rated R? F, yes, it will be rated R." I'm very happy that it's going to be rated R, and I guess the trailer lived up to that because of the aforementioned violent nature of it. Steve, how you feeling about Kraven the Hunter? Let's check in.
No.
Still no.
Still no. We saw what
Trailer,
happened with Morbius.
trailer could make a difference.
But like, why do we need an ultra violent Kraven movie with him fighting the Rhino for some reason?
I don't know, man. I don't know, but you know what? We're getting it. So
we are getting it. We also
hope
got
it's good.
Morbius.
I know, and I wanted Morbius to be good too. Morbius gave us a good trailer. Do you remember the first Morbius trailer? We were like, this kind of looks good.
Right.
This kind of looks good.
Well, it had
And it
Matt Smith was doing Matt Smith things.
True.
Oh, I did get for the quick diversion here. I did get the future slated Sony Spider-Man universe. So the future of the SSU, if you will. Kraven the Hunter, and then El Muerto. Remember that?
That's still on. Oh yeah. Okay. Well, it's been.
Yeah.
What was the quote from last
It's
week?
back in development at best.
Yeah. At a standstill.
Yes.
That's what they
There you
said.
go.
At a standstill. Yeah.
Madam Web.
Adam Webb. Yep.
Which is apparently in post production.
I know. Yeah, they're done with that, filming it.
How? I don't know, but. And then they have announced that there will be another sequel to Venom.
Yeah, they're making Venom 3.
Because why wouldn't they? Because those just keep printing money.
Yeah.
They're also rumored to be developing a Sinister Six movie, which they've been setting up with the post-credit scenes.
Terrible.
Night Watch. Because
I forgot about
reason.
Night. Was that was that the one that Spike Lee was gonna do? Was there one that Spike Lee said he was gonna direct?
Yes, that was Night Watch.
Night Watch, yeah.
Yep. So, Jackpot, and then a couple untitled movies, and we're thinking about a Mysterio movie and an Aunt May movie.
Well, the Aunt May movie's not a good idea. Right, straight up.
Any of the other ones were?
No.
Oh, and the Silk TV series as well.
Oh yeah, the Silk TV series. Sure, I'm down for that. Give me a Silk.
Right,
sure.
the Silk TV series and the Spider-Man Noir TV series.
Oh yeah.
I'm cool with those.
Shows that are about Spider-Man. Yeah, I'll watch those. Or a spider-like character. Sure, I'm down.
Shows that are about spider-adjacent characters. Meh.
Yeah. Steve, do you care at all about this movie being rated R or not?
No, not at all. F no.
I know the way that quote is, will it be rated R? F, yes, it'll be rated R. Like, are you saying that I should be more excited about a rated R movie just because I get to see more? Like,
I feel like
just
a
make it
movie,
good.
like a movie should just be rated R if it needed to be rated R to make it a good movie.
Right. Yeah. Like, I don't, if they made a G-rated Kraven the Hunter movie that was amazing, then I'd be like, yeah, that movie's amazing. Like, I don't care what it's rated. I just need it to be good. I don't care what it's rated. Just be a good movie. And so, like, hanging it out there like, oh yeah, it's R-rated. Yeah, we're cool. We're R. Like, I don't know. I've seen tons of bad R-rated movies. It doesn't mean it's gonna be good just because it's rated R. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
If Raven was in a Spider-Man movie and it was rated R, that would make me excited. I'd be like, holy wow, they made an R-rated Spider-Man movie and Kraven's the villain. This is gonna be wild. But they would never make an R-rated Spider-Man movie.
No, but it's like the way they're touting it, it's like they're making it R just to make it R, and it's like, whatever.
Yeah, or they're celebrating that it's R, as if that's like a I don't know, like
a badge of honor,
indicator of quality, an indicator of quality,
right?
And it is not.
No. I like how I completely forgot Aaron Taylor Johnson, formerly Quicksilver, who we mentioned earlier on the podcast out of nowhere.
Formerly Kick-Ass.
Yes. And is like now has to make it seem like he's very excited about playing Kraven.
Maybe he is.
He might be.
Maybe. Hey, Steve, maybe this movie's good. We don't know.
Well, we're back on my summer of keeping expectations in the basement.
Yeah. It's hard for me to do that though sometimes because it's fun to be excited. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, you know when they drop like the first X-Men movie or the next movie that we're going to talk about, I'll be like, oh my god, it's gonna be amazing. But like a Kraven movie, come on,
that'll really be the indicators when they start dropping more like newer Marvel stuff. See if I'm just like, it just seemed like I've seen it all.
Right,
before.
and I'm like, yeah, it's great. It's like, no.
Did you see that shot where they were standing there? It was great.
Yeah.
I mean, like, yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Speaking of, I don't know. That might be true for some movie, but it's not going to be true for this movie because I'm very excited about Fantastic Four. We talked about it last week. It's been reported that Adam Driver has been offered the role of Richards, and these are all rumors. There's just a lot of Fantastic Four rumors came in this week, so we're not going to probably dive too far into it, but just hearing, yes, Adam Driver as Reed Richards, Jodie Comer as Sue Storm, and Antonio Banderas as, wait for it, Human Torch, no. The Thing, no. Doctor Doom, no. Galactus. The rumor was Antonio Banderas as Galactus. And we don't usually talk about rumors. I'm not sure why I put these on there, just because I felt like I couldn't open Twitter without seeing somebody talking about one of these things. There's also some theories that they were going to gender bend the Thing. Steve, I don't know if you saw anything like that the Thing was going to be a female actor, and also that it was going to be played for a while. Like, she came out to debunk this, but apparently people were thinking that Mila Kunis was going to be the Thing.
All right. I'm like 99.9% always fine with like gender bending a role, but Ben Grimm is not that role. Like,
it's a weird one, right?
Human Torch, sure. Like,
yeah.
Make it Joanna Storm. That's fine. But like Ben Grimm, really?
Strange choice.
Yeah,
if that's true. And
Mila Kunis.
Yeah.
No.
Well, she came out and said she said something interesting. She said, "No, I'm not in the Fantastic Four, but I know who is," and that's all she said.
Oh. Huh.
So she knows someone who knows someone knows something or whatever.
Right. So they're getting there.
Yeah.
Paul Mescal is the Human Torch apparently as well.
Oh, okay. I did see that. Yeah.
Yep. I don't know who that is.
I don't know who that is either.
I also didn't know
barely
who Jodie Comer was. So
I've heard that name a million times, but I can't think of. I didn't.
I
look
know
up her
Adam
filmography.
Driver and Antonio Banderas.
Sure do. What would you think of Antonio Banderas as Galactus?
I don't know. I don't know if I can wrap my head around anyone as Galactus. So
I was just gonna say the same
It's
thing.
like-
I was gonna say anyone as Galactus is weird to think about.
well, I mean, that would have been the
Um,
same thing for anyone as Thanos.
See, that's not for me. That's different for me
Well,
because Thanos is a big guy.
Right, but it's
But
at least
Galactus is the size of
yeah.
is bigger than planets.
Right.
So any movie that shows for all intents and purposes a human being just floating around in blue and pink suit with a
Right.
big pink crown on his head eating planets, it's gonna be a weird movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be weird to see any face that big. It's
And
gonna be weird.
also, like, why would we be galacticizing this early? Like,
I don't know.
Wouldn't Galactus be something you would build to, or is it something
know.
they encounter? Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's like
It's like a tease.
right. It's like with the Collector, where we randomly see him and then he keeps coming back or whatever.
Right.
Or like we said with Thanos, I mean, Thanos, it was like end credit stuff, but like in the movie when they're going to space and getting their powers or whatever, you know, there's a flash of Galactus or what, you know, there's all sorts of weird ways they could do it, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
In Act 1, Johnny Storm accidentally spills some weird chemicals on Antonio Banderas, and then they meet him again in Act 3, and he's like 10 feet tall.
right.
And he's like, I don't know, I just keep growing. I can't stop.
They meet him in Act 2, he's 10 feet tall. They meet him in Act 3, he's like 25
30
feet tall.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay. Guess we're gonna keep going.
That would be really dumb.
I'm really hungry, and he just starts eating the ground. We've just made a plot of a movie we
Excuse
don't want anyone to make.
We don't want, don't make that Marvel. Those are all rumors. Who knows if Galactus is even in it? Could just be
Right.
It could be that someone said Antonio Banderas is Galactus just out of nowhere, and everyone was like, "Ooh, interesting. Ooh, I would do that. Ooh, that's,"
Yeah.
and then it blew up.
Well,
So
we
who knows
mentioned
if
it
Galactus
though.
is
Like
in it.
we don't, Comer and Mescal. We don't really know. What are your thoughts on Driver as Reed?
We talked about this last week, didn't we?
Did we?
Yeah, we talked about this and the Ryan Gosling as Dr. Doom thing.
Oh yeah. I got that confused with us just having a conversation.
Yeah, just being friends in real life and talking.
I was like, oh, I thought we talked about it. I didn't know we recorded it, but yeah, you're right, we did.
Yeah. Just so you know, Jodie Comer was in Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker.
Really, not helping her cause, particularly.
She played Miramir, and it's a cameo. So maybe she was just a cameo. She's also
Yeah.
in The Last Duel and Law and Order, like every actress ever. She's in 13. She's in Killing Eve. It's a very popular show.
I was going to say again,
know.
you're saying words that I don't know the meanings of. But I mean, Free Guy with Ryan Reynolds. Last Duel was Ridley Scott. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
With
she's been
the
around.
Ben Affleck Matt Damon combo.
Mhm.
Okay.
Cool.
I could-
Last
It
bit
could
of
work.
it could work. Yeah, no, I think it could work. Yeah.
I mean, at this point, just find people that don't suck, and that's all I'm asking for.
Just a good movie, please. Just a good movie.
Also, if we could find people not embroiled in controversy, that would also be good.
That would also be yeah.
Track records
would
right
be.
now are very, two
Hey.
biggest blockbusters lately.
Think about how wild it is that with everybody cast in the MCU,
Mhm.
there has not been one problem like this until now.
True.
Like, there's a lot of people that could have gotten canceled or could have gotten in trouble, and it took until Jonathan Majors. We're like close to 15 years into the MCU, right? Aren't we?
That is kind of surprising.
So yes, and they've only had to not they even announced they're replacing Jonathan Majors yet, which is wild. but like Ed Norton, Terrence, what's his face? Howard.
And like
Anybody else? Am I forgetting anybody else?
Like Cassie Lang,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
like some other
But
characters. But
not-
as far as
not
like
like
the
the-
A-list Avengers type,
Yeah,
no, I think that's
not title characters. Yeah, yeah, wild. They've had a good long string of luck, and it possibly has run out with
in a
Jonathan
couple of
Majors.
ways.
Yeah, well, yeah. One of those ways is they can't seem to get a certain movie right, apparently, because they've just hired
it's pronounced
another
written.
new writer. What's that?
You said they can't get it right, and I said it's pronounced written.
Yeah.
Well, they're having some trouble.
Yeah, they just announced another new writer for Blade. But this is Nick Pizzolatto, the creator and head writer of the first 3 seasons of True Detective. Apparently he had some kind of falling out with Warner Brothers TV, and they are making a 4th season, but he's not involved in it. But he wrote and head writer first 3 seasons. One of those, I think the 3rd season, starred Mahershala Ali. So it's a reunion for the two of them. But, he might be great. He might be coming with a lot of experience. However, he is the 5th writer that Marvel has hired to take a swing at Blade. So, Steve, thoughts on this situation or this guy? Have you seen True Detective? Are you confident that this movie's going to do anything?
No, I mean, I've heard True Detective Season 1 was great. I've heard True Detective Season 2 was not. I have not heard anything about Season 3. But
I heard 3 was good.
Yeah, okay.
I heard 3 was better than 2, but not as good as 1.
Okay.
But I also have not seen any bit of True Detective, and it's something that I would like to remedy. But anyway.
Yeah, again, we were talking about it in the pre-roll. I didn't catch wind of it until the end of Season 1, and I was like, oh, I'll get in on it. And then Season 2 came out, and I was like, all right, never watching it.
Yeah.
Once I get more than like 2 seasons backlogged on a show, I'm like, nah, not going to happen.
I'm out. I know. I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
I just
Steve and I
acknowledge
had
that I don't go or won't go there.
Then it's not going to happen.
Yep.
Steve and I had a half-hour long, super nerdy, fun conversation that we 100% should have had on microphone because it would have been enjoyable listen, but you're just not getting it.
Yep.
Sorry.
Yeah, one of these days I'm going to start recording the pre-roll. We'll throw it up on the Patreon.
Yeah, we should get a Patreon.
We have one.
And then have extended bonus. We have a Patreon?
Yeah.
Since when?
2 weeks ago.
Oh.
We got to actually set it up, but we have one.
You're like, we have one. What are you talking about?
What do you mean?
Oh, I just made it.
I just made it. It's fine. I did it right now.
Well, if you want exclusive content that we haven't talked about and don't know, subscribe to our Patreon. We'll give you something cool. Maybe bonus content. We'll read your name on the podcast. There's something we can do.
We definitely will do that.
Let's have a meeting about it right now while what we should do. Stop the pod. Have a conversation about how we're going to run our Patreon moving forward so people can sign up and give us a ton of money.
Yeah. So if you go to patreon.com/the Multiverse Report, you can get notified when we go live with it. So feel free to join our wait list.
Right there.
Yep.
There's a bonus right there. Perks, nothing but perks.
Please sign up to let you know when you can give us money. It's fine.
I also have not seen True Detective, so I feel like this could have been because he's worked with Mahershala Ali before. My immediate thought, and this is just me connecting dots that may not exist, but my immediate thought is Mahershala Ali still not happy with this script and said, get this guy who I have worked with and I trust to do another pass at it because I'm not doing this movie, without whatever. You think he must, with the amount of time it's taken to even get this movie off the ground, to start it, because they announced it so long ago and it was nothing until last year, a year and a half ago, that we started hearing that they have a director.
They started writing it in 2021 with Stacey Osei Kaffour
But they
and
announced it
then
in like 2018 though, or something, didn't they?
yeah, and then
Yeah.
Bo DeMaio, who worked on Moon Knight and X-Men 97,
Yep.
apparently script doctored her copy,
Yeah, her draft.
and then they rewrote from scratch with Michael Starbury
Yep,
after
remember
that.
that guy.
And then it's Pizzolatto.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I don't know.
Yep.
I don't know.
lot
It'll
of
be
things
interesting
happen.
to see when this movie comes out. It'll be interesting to see how many of those people actually get credit.
Yeah, yeah, that would be.
Because sometimes they don't want to admit that so many people had to write it. If there's like script by 6 names, that's
Right.
like, ugh.
Well,
This
and for
movie's not
anyone
gonna
who
be good.
doesn't know, like what they use from each of the scripts basically goes into like X% they have to credit. Like if it's over X amount
Yeah.
that they used, that writer has to get credit. Otherwise, they could hypothetically could get something as a ghostwriter, but it's how Hollywood is all structured is they get paid based on where their name lies in the credits.
Yeah. Yeah, they have to determine a percentage. They have to determine what like how much each writer contributed. Like they have to come up with a number,
Right.
like a percent.
Like
of the script, which is just
for
wild
Solo.
to me.
For Solo, like Lord and Miller got
Sure.
credited.
Yeah.
But not
They got story by. Did they get
I
story
think it
by?
was I think it might have been story by or like
Yeah.
In association with or something like that. It was
Yeah.
it was a lesser title, but they were credited because, at least some of the stuff they worked on made it in.
Yeah. Just a wild thing.
Mhm.
I want to see this movie. I want to see this Blade. Like the stories. Mahershala Ali won an Oscar and then met with Marvel and said, "I want to be Blade." Like he pitched Blade to them, so like he wanted to do it. He clearly still wants to do it because this guy could have walked away at any time during this like long development process. Like they had all of COVID to bang out a good. Like why weren't they writing this like during COVID? Like, I don't know. Whatever. Scheduling, I'm sure. Whatever. Anyway, I'm pumped for Mia Goth to be in it. We talked about that a few weeks ago, but we'll see. We'll see what happens whenever it comes out. Probably gonna get delayed again. It's a bummer. Some bummer news in the world of comics this week. Comic publisher IDW lays off 2/5 of their employees and quote unquote went dark on the New York Stock Exchange. Like pulled their stock from the ability to be traded.
Yeah,
and I guess that's something you can do if you're hemorrhaging. Yeah.
Right. If shit's going completely sideways, you can say, we're not trading today.
We're not trading right now. Yeah.
Thanks, coming in later.
Yeah. This is a bummer. From what I read, it was the entire sales and marketing department, but also some editors and some directors. Apparently, they were, as from an article I read, called into a Zoom meeting at noon. The meeting lasted less than 5 minutes and consisted of the message that the company was losing money and that, quote, "We've decided to reduce our workforce by 35% and you are all part of that reduction. Your last day will be today."
Big
Wild.
gulps, huh?
And also, what's that?
It's big gulps, huh? Well, see you later.
Yeah. Crazy that almost the exact same thing happened to me in January. I got let go from my previous job. It's just heartless, terrible way to let people go. And I guess they said that they are admitting that, their sales are down. They have to like reorganize and restructure. And we had reported and talked about a few months ago, maybe a year ago by now, a while ago, they announced they were losing some of their licenses for characters like Transformers and G.I. Joe. And so they don't own really a lot of popular or recognizable IP at the moment. I guess some people are speculating that could be part of why their stocks were down or a part of why they're losing money or what. I don't know. I feel like I see IDW books everywhere all the time.
Yeah, there's a lot of books like, Turtles. Any of the Turtle stuff is IDW. Sonic is IDW. I think they have a Star Trek license.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
They're like, you'd think that's a decent 3. I mean, Turtles alone, you'd think would be able to carry something.
For sure.
But beyond that, I don't know, because they lost they lost Transformers and GI Joe. They lost something else too.
Well, they used to have Star Wars.
Yeah, they had the Star Wars like Adventures imprints, and they lost that to Dark Horse.
Yeah.
So yeah, I could see them being a little light on content.
Yeah, I mean, maybe this is just like when they did have all that IP, they hired all these people, and now they can't support it. But
Right.
it's just a bummer, no matter what, because you never want to, a company that puts out quality stuff.
On the IDW website currently, the only thing listed when you go to browse books, oh, never mind, hit the wrong button. So they do have a bunch under the browse. I thought it was only Sonic, and I was like, okay.
Yikes. Yeah.
We lost a lot here.
Yeah, wild.
Yeah, Usagi Yojimbo, which
they're doing a Turtles crossover, I think.
Yep. The D&D
oh yeah,
comics there.
They only have like My Little Pony and stuff.
Yeah,
too,
My Little Pony, Winona Earp.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean they've got some things.
Yeah, for sure. Maybe just not the volume that they used to have.
Right, bunch of
I know they were trying to introduce a lot of original stuff recently, I think too.
Right.
So
Goosebumps.
Oh, there you go.
For any of us who want to relive the 90s.
Yeah. Horrifying stories of our 90s.
That in hindsight weren't that horrifying, but really were.
No.
When you were however old.
8th grade, yeah, I don't know, 10 years old. Whatever. This week in your local comic book store, you have a lot to choose from, including Adventures of Superman John Kent, number 3, Batman, number 135, which is technically the 900th issue of Batman.
Oh.
They start the renumbering, but someone's keeping track somewhere. So, yeah, Batman number 900. Cool anniversary issue. Buffy, the Last Vampire Slayer, Lost Summer, number 1. Draculina, Blood Simple, number 3. The Flash, number 798. I Hate This Place, number 8. Joker, The Man Who Stopped Laughing, number 8. Lamentation, number 1. Monomyth, number 1. Aforementioned My Little Pony, number 12. Northern Blood, number 2. Parker Girls, number 7. Peacemaker Tries Hard, number 1. Poison Ivy, number 12. That is the end of the Poison Ivy miniseries, but only to be picked up as an ongoing, I think, next month or 2 months from now, this summer sometime.
Something like that.
Yeah, my guess is it's going to start with a new number 1. But this, 12 issues has been incredible. As I've said many times, Radiant Black, 24. All new Shazam, starting over. Good place to jump in. Star Trek Deep Space Nine, The Dog of War, number 2. Star Wars The High Republic Adventures, number 4. Star Wars Darth Vader, number 3. Star Wars Dr. Aphra, number 31. And Where Monsters Lie, number 4. All that and more in your local comic book shop this coming week. Anything on your pull list this week, bud?
Doesn't look like anything I'm getting this week, but I had a couple weeks back order where I picked up like old High Republic 8, Yoda, Batman 134, a couple others.
Nice.
So
cool.
Yeah, I was able to catch up on a good chunk of them. So
oh, nice. There you go.
Yeah. Also, Batman Scooby-Doo Mysteries number 7 because, of course.
Of course.
I swear to God. What's up?
I think I probably said this already to you on a previous episode, but I think there is a trade of the first run of Batman Scooby-Doo Mysteries that started like a year ago or ended last year.
Yeah, we found 2 floppies of it randomly in a back bin at one of the other local shops.
Oh, perfect.
So
nice.
Yeah, I was like, there's only 12, so we could probably find the rest of them in a back bin somewhere.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
Because for him, I think for the kids, the floppies are great.
Yeah, I agree.
So,
yeah,
we'll keep rolling on that and see if it come to fruition to get the full run.
Yeah. I will shout out a book that I pledge on Kickstarter for a creator. I want to say Wells Thompson is the writer's name. I don't have the books in front of me because they're across the room where I keep my comic books. But I pledged to a book called Frankenstein the Unconquered. I got issues 1 and 2, and I read both of them, and they were great. Art was really cool, story's cool. Just seemingly he had a previous Frankenstein series, or just hinting at a past life or whatever. The way it's written, I can't really tell either way. Frankenstein at some point got blasted into space, and this is him coming back down to Earth and finding it hundreds of years later as some desolate wasteland, and just getting across it any way that he can, and violently. So it was good. So shout out to Frankenstein the Unconquered by Wells Thompson.
You
Check
are
it out.
accurate. I did double check your memory.
I was 99% sure. I was only doubting it because I wasn't looking at it. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like I was like, I know this is it, but I'm saying it without written confirmation. So I'm starting to second guess myself. But
I do like that
yeah.
artwork too. That's pretty unique.
Yeah, very cool. I know that Heather Vaughn did the covers for both of them. I don't know if you're looking at cover or interior. Someone else did the interiors, but both very good. Wonderful. So yeah, check that out. I'll shout that out. I also read a little bit more of Alan Moore's Run on Swamp Thing that I am slowly getting through, and I feel like I'm slowing down because I love it so much. I don't want it to be over. But I'm crawling towards that last volume. But
there you go.
Someday. Nothing lasts forever.
Yeah, I mean, I've still got multiple things back there that I want to catch up, and I was like,
I know.
What was I looking at yesterday? Oh, I picked up that Rorschach trade, the Tom King Rorschach.
Oh yeah. Oh nice.
And,
yeah.
I think Amazon had it on sale or something. I was
yeah.
I got distracted on the things ancillary to what you've bought before, and I was like, oh, that's like $20. Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that runs. But
sold. Nice. Oh, we should also mention that this Saturday, May 6th, is Free Comic Book Day.
Absolutely. And our friends down at Funky Town are participating.
Yep, Funky Town Comics will be participating. If you don't know, Free Comic Book Day is a day that you can go to any participating comic book store, and they will have a selection of free comics for you.
Yep.
A lot of comic shops also will run their own promotions or sales at the same time while people are in the store. Like, oh, we also have these back issues are half off or something,
Yep. And it's a range from like just looking at the 2023 gold books. You have a Avengers X-Men crossover.
Ooh,
you have fun. Conan the Barbarian, Dogman and the League of Misfits. Red Sonja.
Want that.
Oh, 100%. Power Rangers, Ranger Academy, like Red Sonja, Spider-Man and Venom, Star Trek, Umbrella Academy, all sorts of everything. An Animal Crossing one, cool.
Whoa, cool.
But yeah, it's not just your big your big names. It's everything under the sun. Usually they'll throw stuff out for this, and they're doing a Marvel Voices one too.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that'll be good.
Nice.
So yeah, it's always worth hitting, and usually you can find some, like, a lot of stores will have deals going on, or like get you in the store with the comics and end up taking some more of your money, and next thing you know, you got a pull list, and here you are.
Yeah. And if you're still hungover from May the 4th and Revenge of the 5th, Funky Town has a still huge collection of Star Wars toys available.
Yes, they do.
Yeah. Do they still have? This was a couple weeks ago, when a rare time when you and I were in there at the same time.
Mm-hmm. It can happen.
They had 4 different copies of Marvel's Star Wars #1 from like 1979 or whatever, 1978, whenever they started making Star Wars comics.
One of them in the bins.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, and there was 4 different copies, and they were all different
grades.
All different grades. But I think even like the worst one was like $400 or something. I don't know.
There was a 5.0 that was like $350 or something, and then the other 2 were like 5 and change, because I think they were in the like 8s. Yeah,
1 is behind the counter because
3 of them are.
all three of them.
Three of the graded ones are, and then there's the one floppy that's just sitting out there.
Yeah.
I'm waiting. It's one of those where you're like, I'll wait until they have a bins sale and be like, hey Jesse, it was in a bin.
Yeah, that's still there. Still there. It was over here ish somewhere.
Yep.
Nice. Kind of like 1.5 one-shots for you tonight.
Yeah.
Loyal listeners. Another thing that came out of CinemaCon is that Paramount, in their panel, announced a new animated Transformers movie called Transformers 1. It said it's going to explore the origins of Optimus Prime, and they have a pretty stellar voice cast, including Chris Hemsworth as Optimus Prime, Brian Tyree Henry as Megatron, Scarlett Johansson as Elita, John Hamm as Sentinel Prime, Lawrence Fishburne as Alpha Trion, and Keegan-Michael Key as Bumblebee. I don't know who some of those characters are, but I know who all those actors are, and they're all great. So that's cool.
Yeah.
And I saw this being reported a lot as Paramount makes first ever animated Transformers movie, and a lot of people going, oh, no, 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 no. Oh, no, no, no. Don't you dare forget about the wild, just insanity that is Transformers the movie.
Yeah, that was 1980 something. 86, 85.
Yep. Kids from across the country lined up at a movie theater and got to watch, spoiler alert, Optimus Prime die.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like it was like, I haven't seen this movie in a long time. I just know about it, and I don't remember what even kills him.
Well, the story was set apparently in the far future of 2005.
Oh man,
yeah,
so far. Like I don't remember what kills him, but he's not like in a battle. Like he dies in a bed surrounded by the other Transformers.
Yeah,
like
he fights and beats Megatron.
Sad.
He fights and beats Megatron, but sustains fatal injuries.
Okay, so it's after the battle.
Yep.
Okay, yeah. So it's not like a quick, like he doesn't disappear because someone snapped or whatever.
Right.
Just, like it's hard.
Just drawn out.
Sad. Yeah. Anyway, that's happening. I'm not a huge Transformers guy, but nerdy enough news to count as a one shot, I thought.
Transformers, like the Transformers movies, for as better or bad or whatever you think of them, they're always decent with a bucket of popcorn and just turning your brain off.
Steve, I have never seen any Transformers movie.
If you think of Michael Bay,
yeah,
they are anything you could think of with Michael Bay, but with big robot dudes.
Yeah,
that turn into cars.
Yep.
Like,
yeah, big explosions.
You know what you're getting. You're not signing up for an Oscar winner here.
Yeah. Oh yeah, sorry. It's not even really news, just another reminder. Likely comic day.
Reminder. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 will be releasing this weekend.
That's right.
So
that's right.
And by this weekend, actually May the 4th.
Yeah, I know. We say this weekend and it's Wednesday that it comes out. Wild.
So,
early reactions are good.
Yeah, it seems to be. I believe the biggest takeaways are Hollywood Reporter's title says it kind of best. Overstuffed but ultimately satisfying.
Nice.
So, yeah. Like
I've heard that it's really funny, but I've also heard that it's very sad.
Yeah.
Also, like very emotional, tug at your heartstrings. And we've been theorizing for a while that we think at least one person is going to die, one character, but possibly multiple ones. So, but yeah, I hear people saying that it's like the best. It now is the best trilogy within the MCU, and this is specifically is one of the best movies in the MCU. Like I've read reactions just really singing its praises like crazy. So
nice.
I got my tickets. I'm going on Saturday.
I mean, even without the third movie, Guardians was probably the best trilogy in the MCU.
It was probably one of the stronger series. Yeah. I mean, a lot of people say Captain America. Because a lot of people. But
my only problem with Cap is he got one movie. Like No. Well, we'll give him Winter Soldier. We'll give him Winter Soldier.
Yeah,
but like
Civil War,
Civil War is an Avengers movie.
Yeah.
So it's a duology.
Yeah, it's hard to even count it.
So,
But-
and then like Thor, now you have 4 films. One of them was exceptional.
Yeah, yeah. I like 2 out of 4. I like 50% of Thor films for sure. Yeah.
Well, and it's funny because
Yeah,
like it was thrown into those rankings as the best almost solely because of Ragnarok. And then when Love and Thunder loved and thundered, it pretty much dropped it from any of those lists of like, well, so much for that.
Yeah, no.
Like
You
can't
lost it.
offset the.
Yeah, you had me. You had me real
Right.
hard. You had me pumped.
And this is why I'm not excited about the Taika Star Wars movie.
There you
It's
go.
all coming full circle.
And once again, speaking of Star Wars, you can give us your Star Wars film rankings. We are ranking all 11 live-action Star Wars movies for a very special May the 4th episode where Steve and I and a guest, Matt Peseta, will be sharing our Star Wars rankings and talking over the results that we hear from you guys. So send us in. Steve, did you say it was it's posted where? At our
It'll be in the show
website?
notes.
Okay, it'll be in the show notes of this YouTube video that you're watching. If you're listening on a podcast, I posted it on like our Twitter, on Facebook the other day, so that you can find links there.
It'll also be in the show notes on the podcatcher.
Oh, it'll be in your podcatcher notes. Perfect.
Yep.
Okay, I didn't think about that. So that covers everybody, I guess. You're either watching or you're listening. So yeah,
Those are
send
your
us
options.
those,
You're
those
not
are your
sitting in the
options.
room with Mike or I, so
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. What was I saying? Oh, so yeah, just submit your rankings, please. And no, it's not an anonymous form. Put your name on it. Own your opinions, and be prepared to back them up because we'll call you during our podcast while we're recording and yell at you if we don't agree with your Star Wars rankings. That's not true. We're not gonna
100%.
do that.
Just dial
We're
you
gonna
up
keep
on
it
the
positive.
air.
Yeah, we're gonna keep it positive. Except I don't know. I know that probably prequel fans aren't gonna be too happy with me, but
Well, we
we're
already
gonna
knew
keep it
that.
positive. But we already know that. We already know that. But that is all that I have, Steve. All that I have.
Well, if that's all you've got, then we should probably do our standard sign off and tell
Let's do
people
our
to
wrap-up.
find us at themultiversereport.com, multiversereport@gmail.com if they want to send us long form things. Shorter form can go to any social media at the Multiverse Report or Multiverse RPT on Twitter. With Twitter imploding as it seems to be, we're also looking at other alternative options. Wherever nerd communities are found. If anybody's got any ideas, let us know. And yeah, that's about what we got. If you want to subscribe and like and leave us reviews, especially on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, any of that, very appreciated. And yeah, that's probably a wrap.
That's probably it. So until next time, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. We'll see you in the multiverse.